Franchise player designation is every man's dream position in the NFL. Instead of fighting to just make the cut, it is an open declaration that he is the best player on the team, the one who dominates the field and fills the stadium. Originally, it was an informal recognition that the team would be built around him, but once it became an official position, it came with a price. It puts a hold on the player's free agent status for a year. The player can't leave as a free agent, and the team has to pay him a ton of money, but less than he could make somewhere else. When it comes to life as a whole, there is only one franchise player, God. He is the only being around whom everything is built, who dominates the field and fills the stadium of both the spiritual and physical world. Yesterday, we looked at God's holiness as declared by the Seraphim in Isaiah's vision of God, Isaiah 6, verse 3. And today's Throwback Thursday edition of Morning Minutes in the Bible and An American Missionary is about the second half of the Seraphim's declaration. The earth is full of his glory, with a quote from Plain Talk Magazine, April 1973, describing the Almighty God, written by Dan Shipley. The omnipotence that belongs to God is difficult for the finite mind to grasp. It is unlike any power of mortals. Whatever man wills is not realized except by means. With God, means are unnecessary. He wills it, and it is done. He says, "Let there be light," and there is light. Such is the incredible power that makes time stand still, that calms the stormy wind and waves with but a word, and that causes even the dead to render ready response to its command. Truly, great things doeth he which we cannot comprehend. Job 37, verse 5. No wonder then the reference to himself as the Almighty God, Genesis 17, verse 1, the one with whom all things are possible, as Jesus puts it in Matthew 19, verse 26. Infinite power is complemented and directed by infinite wisdom, love, and righteousness. Accordingly, such power is never used recklessly or wrongfully. Every manifestation of divine power is exactly as purposed by divine wisdom. Nothing is incidental or accidental. With what God produced with his creative power was precisely what he willed. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. Genesis 1, verse 31. Spiritually, man was made in a pure and perfect state. Physically, God set the members, each one of them, in the body, even as it pleased him. 1 Corinthians 12, verse 18. Note, by divine creative power, God set to place the various members in the human body, and they didn't get there as a process of evolution. God is the first and efficient cause. Creation demands a creator, life a life giver, law a lawgiver, design a designer. Almighty God is all of these and more. Not only does God have the power to know all things at all times and the power to make something from nothing, he also has the unique power of presence, the ability to be in all places at once. As Paul says, he is not far from each one of us, Acts 17, verse 27. His abiding presence is pictured by the psalmist, 139, verses 3 through 12, and is implied by the writer of Hebrews in recalling his promise. I will in no wise fail thee, neither will I in any wise forsake thee. Hebrews 13, verse 5. Remembering that he is a witness to every thought, word, and deed of every man, ought to encourage a better conduct. In prayer, we sometimes speak of coming into his presence, but really, we never leave it. Do we fear or appreciate his presence, or both? Since God's power is immutable, unchanging, eternal, Romans 1:20, it is never diminished nor abated in any way, even when exercised through men. The power employed by the apostles was from on high, which they readily acknowledged, Acts 3, verse 12 and 15, verse 12. How unusual, then, that modern-day faith healers who claim the same power from the same source should have such different results. Divine power never fails. It is instantaneous and complete, independent of the subject's faith. Many still err, not knowing the scriptures nor the power of God. Matthew 22, verse 29. To believe in God is to believe in his great power, in his authority and sovereignty. He alone has the power to save and destroy, James 1:12 and Matthew 10:28. and to provide all things that pertain to life and godliness. 2 Peter 1, verse 3. He is almighty. Yes, Dan, he is almighty indeed. God dominates the universe and yet offers his creatures, you and me, a place with him in eternity. The Almighty God calls you to come join his team by complete submission to his will. He even sent his son to play on our field and show us how it's done. Will you join his team or remain on Satan's losing team? The choice is yours. Thank you for watching this Throwback Thursday edition of Morning Minutes in the Bible on An American Missionary. Until next time, this is James McClenny helping you have a great day.